Hi everyone, I'm Extra C. Reyes from Field 1A, and today we're diving into one of the most fascinating frameworks in education, Bloom's Taxonomy. Imagine a staircase of knowledge where each step takes us higher in understanding, thinking, and creating. These 6 levels of cognitive learning helps us unlock our potential and transform the way we approach ideas, challenges, and solutions. Bloom's taxonomy is the ultimate guide to mastering the art of learning. So get ready. Let's explore how this powerful tool can shape the way we grow as students and thinkers. At the end of this lesson, learners will be able to identify, describe, and apply the 6 levels of cognitive learning. First is identify and describe cognitive learning levels. Second, apply cognitive learning in real-world context. Lastly, develop critical thinking and creativity. Now that we have set the stage for Bloom's taxonomy, it's time to meet the brilliant mind behind it, Benjamin Bloom. Born in 1913, Bloom was an American educational psychologist who dedicated his life to understanding how people learn and grow. He believed that education is not just about absorbing facts, but about nurturing critical thinking and creativity. The first one is remembering. The ability to recall or recognize facts, concepts, and basic information. Remembering is the first and most fundamental level of cognitive learning. It refers to the ability to store and recall information without necessarily understanding its deeper meaning. This stage involves recognizing, retrieving, and listing facts, concepts, or definitions that have been learned. For example, reciting multiplication tables from memory and listing the elements in the periodic table. So, when a student memorizes the multiplication tables, they can recall that 3 times 4 is equal to 12, but they might not yet understand how multiplication works conceptually. Similarly, when listing the elements of periodic table, they are demonstrating their ability to remember names, symbols, and sequences without necessarily grasping the chemical properties of each element. This foundation level serve as the building block for higher order thinking skills. The second one is understanding. The ability to interpret, summarize, or explain ideas in one's own words. Understanding is the second level of cognitive learning and goes beyond simple memorization. It involves grasping the meaning of information and being able to explain, summarize, or interpret it in one's own words. For example, paraphrasing a passage from a book and explaining the water cycle in simple terms. Instead of just recalling sentences from a book, a student who paraphrases a passage is demonstrating understanding by expressing the same ideas in a different way. Similarly, explaining the water cycle in simple terms shows that the learner comprehends how processes like evaporation, condensation, and precipitation work together. Understanding serves as a bridge between memorization and deeper levels of thinking, such as applying knowledge to new situations or analyzing complex concepts. The third one is applying. Using knowledge in new situations or contexts. Applying is the third level of cognitive learning and focuses on using knowledge in real-world situations. Instead of just recalling or understanding concepts, learners at this stage actively put their knowledge to use in practical context. For example, solving a math problem using a learned formula, and writing an essay using correct grammar rules. This level moves beyond memorization, requiring learners to utilize acquired knowledge in practical scenarios. For instance, solving a math problem using a learned formula shows that students understand the concept and can implement it to find a solution. Similarly, writing an essay using correct grammar rules demonstrate that The learners is not just memorizing rules but applying them effectively in their writing. This level is essential for developing problem-solving skills and critical thinking. It encourages learners to take what they have learned and use it in meaningful ways, whether in academics, daily life, or professional setting. The fourth one is analyzing, breaking down information into parts and exploring relationships. Analyzing is the fourth level of cognitive learning and involves breaking down information into smaller components to understand how they relate to each other. Instead of merely recalling or applying knowledge, learners at this stage examine patterns, relationships, and structures to develop deeper insights and critical thinking. Example: comparing two different leadership styles and identifying the themes in a novel and discussing their impact. So, when comparing two different leadership styles, a student must dissect each approach, identifying strengths, weaknesses, and their impact on teams or organizations. Similarly, identifying themes in a novel and discussing their significance requires looking beyond surface level storytelling to uncover deeper messages, character motivation, and societal influences. This level is important in academic and professional setting, as it allows learners to go beyond memorization and applications, enabling them to evaluate complex ideas and recognize underlying principles. The fifth one is evaluating, making judgments based on criteria and evidence. Evaluating is the fifth level of cognitive learning and involves making informed judgments based on evidence, logic, and established criteria. Instead of simply recalling, understanding, applying, or analyzing information, learners at this stage assess the quality, reliability, and validity of data or arguments. For example, assessing the validity of an argument in a debate and reviewing a scientific study for accuracy and bias. This level involves forming justified opinions and decisions, requiring critical evaluation of information. So, when assessing the validity of an argument in a debate, a student must examine its reasoning, supporting evidence, and logical structures to determine whether the argument is strong or weak. Similarly, reviewing a scientific study for accuracy and bias requires checking the research methods, sample size, and possible influencing factors to ensure the conclusions are credible and unbiased. And the last one is creating, producing original work or generating new ideas based on knowledge. Creating is the highest level of cognitive learning, where learners use their knowledge and skills to generate new ideas, develop original works, and innovate solutions. This stage goes beyond memorization, understanding, applying, analyzing, and evaluating. It requires synthesis, creativity, and the ability to construct something unique. For example, designing a prototype for a new invention and writing a screenplay for a movie. Designing a prototype for a new invention demonstrates a learner's ability to integrate various concepts, technical skills, and problem-solving strategies to create a practical solution. Similarly, writing a screenplay for a movie showcases a deep understanding of storytelling, character development, and thematic elements, allowing a writer to produce an original script. This level fosters innovation, pushing learners to apply their knowledge in fresh, meaningful ways. As we journeyed through the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating, we uncovered the profound steps that guide our learning and thinking processes. Each level is a testament to the power of growth and transformation, not just in academics but in how we approach life challenges and opportunities. Thank you for your time and attention today. Your engagement reflects the very essence of what Bloom's taxonomy is all about. active participation, thoughtful reflections, and the pursuit of deeper understanding. I hope this presentation has inspired you to view learning as a dynamic and evolving adventure. Let us continue to embrace curiosity and creativity both in classroom and beyond. Together, we can transform knowledge into action and action into meaningful change. Thank you for being part of this enriching conversation. Again, I am Ecstasy Reyes from Field 1A.